Will actually be a very swift discussion regarding your GT letter, since this is the only lecture you need for your writing task one. So let's begin. Let's not waste any more time. So this is the third subtest in the IELTS. Remember, listening comes first, reading comes next. Writing task will be divided into two sections. We have your writing task one, which is your GT letter writing for GT. And we have your academic writing, which are your statistical report. So now that everyone here understands the module, you have to know that your letter writing is going to be an essential part of your writing task one. This is the only lecture you need for your general training writing. Writing task 2 is a different topic of its own. What is writing task 2? Writing task 2 was the topic yesterday. If you guys remember, natandaan nyo ba? Divided into 5 instructions. Agree, disagree, to what extent, discuss, both views, open-ended. And the topic I covered yesterday, do you think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? You have to allot significant amount of time for you to understand all of them, because they are equally important in your preparation to ace your examination. But letter writing will be our focal point. Same as with academic, your computation is going to be 33% of your total writing score. So this will only weigh about a third of your total writing score. I'm not implying that you don't want to put an effort at all in writing task 1, since if you're going to only acquire a very low standing in this part of the test, you will not get equivalent assessment for both. So what I mean here is that if your task is going to be significantly high, let's say 8, and your task 1 is only going to give you like 5 because you weren't able to finish it, because you didn't address it properly. So you multiply 8 by 2, that's 16, that's the weight of your task 2, plus 5, 21, you are only going to get a band 7. Despite getting 8 in task 1, 8 in task 2, your writing task 1 could still pull your score down. So we want to give both your task 2 and your task 1 equal importance. But remember, people, we want to put more importance in task 2, because writing task 2 is 67% of your total writing score. Your task is to compose a letter which you need to request or give information and or to explain a problem. You need to be able to do any of the following. You need to provide general factual information. In accordance with the ruling of your task description, you may also be inquired to ask for general factual information. So either asking or providing information will be a necessity in this part of the test. You also have to be able to express your needs, wants, likes, and dislikes, as much as your opinions and complaints if the needs of this arise. You need to also make requests, suggestions, and recommendations, which are all fairly similar tasks. So these are some examples of the narrative of the prompt that you must be able to assimilate in your letter. Writing to a college accommodation officer about problems with your accommodation. Perhaps writing to a new employer about time management problems. Writing to a local newspaper about a plan to develop a local airport. So if you're going to understand such scenarios presented here, we haven't even encountered any single one of this. Right? Sir, nakapagsulat ka na ba sa isang local newspaper tungkol sa plan na mag-develop ng airport sa lugar kung saan nakatira? Na-try mo nang gawin yan? Hindi pa, kasi hindi naman ito realidad eh. Nagigets yung idea? GT letter writing isn't real. This is fabricated. That's why this is going to be fun. Bakit? Dahil kung napakagaling mong magsinungaling, pasado ka na agad dito. Dahil lahat ng ilalagay mo sa letter writing mo ay pawang kasinungalingan lang. Very far from academic, where they have to reflect the truth in the statistical report they must report. Writing to a renting agency to sort out problems with the heating system of a house. Pero kahit nasa Baguio ka, walang heater doon. Diba? So, you are going to write, imaginary situation ito, na nasira ang heating system mo. Kunwari, nasa Canada ka na. At nagne-negative 35 degrees Celsius doon. Sabi mo, may dalawa kang anak, yung isa baby pa. Di ba? Magsasuffer sila sa hypothermia. Pag hindi nagawa ang heating system ng... Hindi totoo yun. Fabricated lang yan. That is why G2 letter writing is a fun task to do. Remember, you have a reminder how much time you are to complete the letter. You must be able to follow this by a narrative of the context you must assimilate in the letter, which is exactly like this introductory phrase right here. There are also going to be 3 guiding bullet points. This will be a very essential part to understand. Ano ba si bullet points? Na? So, pakita ko sa inyo yung anatomy ng tinatawag nating letter writing. Ito po yung appearance niya. Na? So, ito po yung tinatawag nating reminder of time. Then, this is the narrative of the prompt. This is your main topic. These are your bullet point 1, 2, and 3. A reminder of how many words you are to complete the task, and some special instructions, usually how to begin your letter. Now, let's understand each and every part. No? So, the main point will be how your letter will function, is expected to function in real-life setting. Even though this is going to be fabricated, still, you must be able to make sure that your letter will function in a real-life scenario provided that this situation arises. And then, the 3 bullet points. This is exactly what I want to do this lecture live, either by Zoom or through a replay. It's because your life depends on your bullet points. Your life depends on your bullet point. Again, I will not get tired of repeating this over and over again. Guys, ang buhay nyo nakasalalay dyan sa bullet points. Anong buhay? No? Kasi imagine niyo, if you will miss or misinterpret a bullet point. For example, this topic right here, no, intindihin natin mabuti. You live in a room in college which you share with another student. So may kasama ka sa kwarto. Ang letter na gagawin mo, magrereklamo ka kasi yung kasama mo sa kwarto, mahirap siyang kasama. Pwedeng nagsusugal siya, umiinom siya, nag-yosi ka, ikaw may hika. Nagigets yung idea? Nagigets po. Malinaw po tayo ha. Tinatagalog ko na para madiin. Ano? Now, ipaliwanag mo na yung sitwasyon. Ginawa mo. Explain mo yung problema. Bakit mahirap siyang pakisamahan? Sinabi mo siya ay nagyoyosi, ikaw ay may hika. At hindi siya nagyoyosi sa labas, sa loob siya nagyoyosi. May no smoking policy pa nga, ganyan-ganyan. So talagang sinisiraan mo siya. Say what kind of accommodation you would prefer. Hindi mo ito na isali sa letter mo. Hindi mo siya na ilagay. Na, I would like you to change my room either by myself or have to share with another student na walang history of smoking. Hindi mo ito na ilagay. Ang automatic PR mo dyan, 5. 2 bullet point hindi mo na ilagay. Ang automatic PR mo dyan ay 4. Nagigets yung puntos? At kapag hindi mo na kumpleto yung 3 bullet point, 3 ang score mo. Yun lang po siyang kasimple. Kahit ang perfect pa ng vocabulary at grammar mo. Remember, this is task-based. The way how we address your GT letter writing is different from the common task response, coherence, cohesion, vocabulary, grammar. Ito, ang hinahanap nila 3. Responsiveness, your ability to be able to respond to the main topic and addressing the bullet points. The tone, whether it's formal or informal. And the structure, whether the parts work in congruence as a whole. There are the parts needed. Nandoon siya. Kasi sabi ko nga sa mga estudyante, alam ko pag hindi ka umattend ng lecture ko Bakit? Tingnan mo kung ilang part ang letter writing. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nagbasa ka sa akin, dear ganito, ito yung body, ito yung conclusion. Ilang part yun? 3. Hindi ka nakinig. Ilan ba ang part? 8. Asaan yung tinuro ko? Hindi mo naintindihan, hindi mo ginawa, hindi ka nakinig. Nag-aksaya ka ng panahon. Diba? So, dun pa lang, sa structure na yan, na parts, understanding how the parts work and their corresponding function will be equally relevant in the task-based understanding of addressing the main topic, the theme, the prompt, and indicating the highlights of the response for your 3 bullet points. Failure to do so will invite the examiner to fail you in the examination. So responsiveness is the completeness of your task. Summarized by the task description. You need to write 150 words. Ang write more than 150 words ay part ng task. At pag hindi ka nakapaglagay ng 150 words or higit pa, 4 ang task response mo, penalty mo, 1. So as I was explaining yesterday, may task response, coherence, vocab, grammar. Pinalitan ito sa task 1. Ang tawag natin hindi na TR or task response, TA or task achievement, task attainment. That is what it means. Now, if you would fail to address a bullet point, you will get an automatic 4 in TA and a penalty of 1. Kung hindi ka aabot sa 150 words, automatic 5 sa TA, penalty 1. The penalty, as I was saying yesterday, no? Yung penalty natin, kapag pinagsama-sama mo na lahat ng points niyan. Labosing, nasa klase ko. Sige. Sabi ni Alden, I can't hear you. Naririnig ba ako ng ibang students? Or si Alden lang ang hindi makarinig sa akin? Alden, baka hindi ka naka-join audio. Ano daw ibig sabihin? Umatan ka kahapon, di ba? Oh. Sabihin natin, naka-8 ka sa 3 na areas. 8. Kinapos ka. Sa task response, 5 ka. Underline, check. Number of words, 149. Kahit piso, wala silang patawad. Penalty 1. Pinagsama-sama mo tong ilan na to? 29. Divide mo sa 4. Yun yung average. Ilan ang score mo? 7. O, penalty 1. Ilan ang score mo? 6. Yun ang penalty. Ina-apply ang penalty once everything is accounted for. Parehas, oh. At makakasais ka lang na to, this is only 0.0042% chance dahil itong naka-8 na to sa coherence, lexical, and grammar, 3 pa lang sa 7,000 estudyante ko nakakamit ng 8. So, ibig sabihin kung kakapusing ka ng words, kahit kasing galing mo pa sila, hindi ka aabot sa
size.
Sir,
paano kung buo namin yung 150, tapos alam mo naman yung English namin medyo magkakamali kami. Ano naman ang magiging...
O gumawa ka, ipacheck mo sa akin. Tsaka natin yung malalaman. Kasi pwede kong gumawa ng napakaraming sitwasyon. Infinite situations ngayon. Kaya nga ini-encourage ko kayo na pagkatapos ng klase, binibigyan ko kayo ng assignment, gawin niyo yung assignment, ipacheck niyo siya sa akin. Now, kapag na-check ko siya, mapapakita ko sa iyo, kompleto ang number of words. Ang tanong, na-address ba yung bullet points? Hindi pa rin. O, penalty pa rin yan. Nagets? Tapos may mga mali ka sa grammar. Ilan ba ang mistakes natin sa grammar? Diba? Pag lumagpas ang grammar errors mo ng 3, okay? Ang possibility niya na makakuha ka ng 7 ay bababa. Kung between 4 and 6 ang mistake mo sa total ang score mo sa grammar niyan ay 6 na lang. Kung ang mistake mo ay sa pagitan ng bawat isang pangungusap, no? Ang score mo sa grammar niyan ay 5 na lang. Kung ang mali mo ay sa bawat pangungusap, ang score mo sa grammar ay 4 na lang. May parameters po tayo. At yung parameter na yan, ina-apply ko pag chine-check ko ang writing niya. Bukod, yung grammar kasama yan. So, spelling, punctuation usage, tenses, subject-verb agreement, the use of your adjectives, adverbs, preposition, prepositional phrases, lahat yun. Noun, pronoun, antecedent, agreement, articles, an or the, commas even, pati yun, pupunahin nila. Yun. So, sa madaling sabi, pag-igihan ang 150 words, i-minimize ang mistake. Okay ba? Next, tone, ang pinaka-importanting criteria. So may dalawa lang po tayong tono ng letter. Si formal at si informal. Ang tanong, kailan po formal yon at kailan informal yan? Ikaw ba ang magde-decide kung formal o informal ang letter? Ikaw ba ang mag-decide? Ang deciding factor ng iyong formal or informal letter would depend on the would-be recipient. What does it mean? Ibig sabihin ng would-be recipient. Tatanggap. Recipient ng letter mo. Eh, saan ko ba makikita yung tatanggap? Saan makikita yan? Basahin mo yung task. You live in a room in college which you share with another student. However, there are many problems with this arrangement and you find it very difficult to work. Write a letter to the accommodation officer. So, kanino ka susulat? Sino padadalan mo ng sulat? Kanino mo ina-address ang sulat? To the accommodation officer. Yan ang sinusulatan mo. Write a letter to your boss. Write a letter to your mom. Write a letter to your best friend. Write a letter to the security agency. Write a letter to the renting agency. Write a letter to the supervisor of the supermarket. Write a letter to your neighbor. Yun ang magde-determine ng tone, kung formal or informal. Ang tanong, kailan siya formal at kailan siya informal? Ang magde-determine yan ay tinatawag nating FF o family members and friends. Ganito lang pong kasimple. Ang family members and friends, may bilog yan. Lahat ng pasok sa bilog, gagamitan mo siya ng informal letter. Okay? Sino-sino yun? Lahat ng blood relatives at known individuals to the writer. Tulad ng kaibigan, nobyo-nobya, asawa, personal na kakilala, no? Katrabaho, oo naman, personal na kakilala mo yan. Kaklase, tito, tita, no? Write a letter to your aunt. Pasok ba siya sa family members and friends? Oo, anong tone ang gagamitin mo? Informal. Nakuha? Okay. Eh, paano naman, sir, malaman kung formal? Lahat ng nasa labas ng family members and friends. Yun po ang formal. O sino yun? So, yung wala kang personal na relasyon. Halimbawa, accommodation officer, di ba? Librarian, bus operator, store manager, financial advisor. Pag susulatan mo sila, formal ang letter na gagamitin mo. Ano pong mas common? Formal. Gaano ka-common ang formal? Formal letter appears 3 times more frequently than informal. So sa madaling sabi, sa buong exam, kung siyam ang silya namin dito, 2 lang lalabas na informal. Lahat yon naka-formal. So kaya kung magpa-practice kayo at kung magbabasa kayo ng mga samples, mas magbasa ng mga formal examples, mas mag-practice ng mga formal examples. Pero hindi ko sinasabi na hindi ka matatapatan ng informal, pwedeng ikaw ang makabunot ng informal. Kaya mag-practice ka pa din ng informal letter. At magbasa ka pa rin ng mga sample ng informal letter. Eh, ano bang pinagkaiba ng formal sa informal? Eto na nga. Okay? Sa formal, you keep your letter precise. You only include whatever is necessary. You don't go around the bush. You don't put any fillers. But in the informal category, you make it more chatty. Because remember, you are communicating to someone you personally know. So may kamustahan yan na, Dear Mom, hi, how are you? I hope you're doing great. I'm doing fine here in Canada. After 2 years of working here, I'm finally able to save up for my dream car, which is Porsche Cayenne. O, di ba? Kukwento ka ng bagya. Eh, kilala mo eh. Yun ang sulatan, usapan, ugnayan na magkakilala. No? But wag lang masyado mahaba. Puro sa kwentuhan na lang napunta. Naubos na yung oras mo kakakwento. Hindi na na-address yung bullet point. Ilang bullet point ang nakaligtaan? 3. Makwento ka nga, bagsak ka pa rin. Okay? You are free to digress. Paminsan-minsan, pwede kang maligaw. Pero remember, you have to highlight the bullet points still. Abbreviations are fine. What is the problem with abbreviations? Kasi sa formal, bawal pong i-shortcut to. Sa informal, we actually encourage ito. Ang problema, kung shortcutin mo siya, 1 word lang to. Kung hindi mo siya shortcutin, 2 words siya. So, anong pipiliin mo? Ang kailangan mo, consistency. So, kung mag-i-informal ka, gusto mong mag-cut, gusto mong mag-contraction, ang tawag natin dyan, i-contract mo lahat, all throughout. Otherwise, magkakaroon ka ng inaccuracy pagdating sa grammar. Eh, ang minimeasure nga ng grammar, grammatical range and accuracy. Okay? So, yun ang unang pagkakaiba nila sa tone. So, structure, opening statement, introductory paragraph, middle paragraph, action, concluding paragraphs, closing statement, signature, name, and title. So, for the opening statement, it would depend on who you are writing the letter to. Sometimes there will be instructions, additional special information provided at the beginning na begin your letter with Dear Sir/Madam. May nakalagay doon. Begin your letter with Dear Sir/Madam. Pag yun ang nakita mo, ayan o. Yan. Ganyan mo daw siya simulan. Ang ginawa mo, Dear Ma'am or Sir. Nakalagay dito, comma, ginamit mo colon. So sa taas, yun po yung instruction. Yung sa baba, yun ang ginawa mo. Anong dating sa examiner niyan? Hindi ka sumusunod sa simpleng instruction. At dahil hindi ka sumusunod sa simpleng instruction, sa kanila pupuntirihin? Sa task attainment. You are not responding to the task well. 5 ka agad sa TA. So, maski colon yan o comma ang nakalagay sa instruction, kopyahin mo lang. Malinaw. Sobrang mas munuri ng estudyante ko, nakalagay, begin your letter with Dear Blank. Putang ina, Dear Blank talaga ang nilagay ni Gago. Napakamasunurin. Dear Blank talaga. Sabi ko, wow, ang sarap mong tuktukan, ano? Ano ibig sabihin ng Dear Blank? Ikaw ang pupuna niyan. Ikaw ang maglalagay niyan. Nakalagay, write a letter to your boss. Dear Mr. Tan. Chinese eh. Diba? Dear Mr. De La Cruz. Pwede mong buuin. Dear Mr. Juan De La Cruz. Kasi pag formal category, given name o last name basis tayo. Malinaw? Okay. Sir, nakalagay po kasi, write a letter to a librarian. Tapos, nakalagay po, Dear Blank. Alam naman po natin, ang library, iba-iba ang nagjo-duty dyan. Iba-iba ang mga pangalan nila. So, para bang hindi siya magpa-function ng totoo kung lalagyan ko siya ng pangalan. Hindi ka sure sa gender ng librarian, kung lalaki o babae, di ba? So, dun mo ngayon gagamitin si default Dear Sir/Madam. Kahit ang instruction sa'yo, Dear Blank. Kasi it doesn't make sense na susulatan mo yung library, manghuhula ka ng apelido niya, ng pangalan niya. Well, Dear Sir, Madam na lang ako for safety purposes. Walang problema dyan. Okay. Now, kung dito po tayo sa informal, people ha, ulitin ko lang to, baka naliligaw kayo ha, nasa formal tayo. Ang susulatan mo ay hindi mo kaibigan, hindi mo personal na kakilala. Malinaw? Okay. So ngayon, ang susulatan mo ay informal. O mga kaibigan, family member, friend, lover, nakalagay doon, Dear Blank. Madalas po dyan, sa informal ay Dear Blank. At kung nakalagay dyan na Dear Blank, ikaw po ang maglalagay ng pangalan nila. At kapag informal letter, first name o pet name basis tayo. Sabing first name, pangalan lang. Like, Dear Mark, Dear Kevin, Dear Vina, Dear Jerome. Or, kung may tawagan kayo, no? Dear Bugo. O, wag naman ganon. Alam nila yung mga bad words natin. Okay? So, kung meron mga palayaw na cute naman, no? Pwede mong ilagay. So, yung tawag mo sa grandma mo, di ba? Dear Granny, Granny, pwede yun. No, medyo playful ka, walang problema dyan. Do not be afraid to put whatever name you please. So, introductory paragraph. People, dito tayo medyo magtatagal. Dito ako medyo critical. Na? Makinig kayo ng maigi. So, naala pa tayo sa pagsusulat, ha? Nasa umpisa pa lang tayo na Dear Sir/Madam. May tanong, wala? May tanong, wala? Mga nasa Zoom. 5 kayo dyan. Alden, Alan, Jeffrey, Rhea, Rachel. May tanong, wala? No? Pwede nyo gamitin yung aking Zoom chat para sa feature ng ating pagtatanong. Wala daw, sabi ni Rachel, ituloy ko ito. No? Ang pinaka-importanting part po ng introductory paragraph, mapa-formal or informal man po yan, ay yung purpose ng letter. Okay? Yung purpose. Parehong may purpose yan. So, tandaan, ang formal at informal letter, both introductory paragraphs must consist of at least, minimum po ito, 2 sentences. 2 sentences. So, in this case, for the formal case, yung first sentence, mag-i-introduce ka muna without saying your name. Here's the question. Madali bang gawin yan? Madali bang magpakilala nang hindi mo sasabihin ang pangalan mo? Sir, parang mga ginawang si Raulo. Mahirap yatang gawin yan. Na magpakilala nang hindi ko sasabihin ang pangalan ko. Tama ho ba? Tama? Tama ba? Mahirap talaga, di ba? Paano nga natin gagawin yon? Ang aalamin mo dito sa instruction, yung role mo doon sa letter. Anong character mo dyan? Sino ka dyan? Anong ginagampanan mong character? Nakalagay, write a letter to the accommodation officer. Sabi dun sa narrative, you share a room with another student. So, anong role mo dun? Anong role mo? Student! Sumagot kayo! Pasok-pasok pa kayo dito, yung mag-iikibot. Oh, you left your suitcase in a bus yesterday. Write a letter to the bus company. Anong role mo doon? Passenger? Good day, I am a passenger. Di ba? Oh. Okay? May nakalimutan pala ako itanong kanina. Naalala niyo yung formal-informal natin na family and friends. Saan niyo ilalagay yung neighbor? Sa formal or informal?
Formal.
Okay. Neighbor, formal, informal? Informal, 3 informal ikaw. Informal, 4 na informal. Sabi ni Rochelle sa informal, no? Kayo po mamaya ay magsipunta sa simbahan at magpasalamat sa Diyos na hindi nyo pa exam. Dahil kung matatapat sa iyo ito at nakalagay, write a letter to your neighbor at gumawa ka ng informal na letter pag sa kakagad. Paalam, 14,000. Bilis, naglaho agad ang iyong pera. So si Jeffrey at si Rhea ay nagsabing formal. Ang tanong, bakit? Bakit? Ang kultura kasi ng Pilipinas, ang neighbors natin, kalimitan, ay mga personal nating kakilala, kaibigan, yung mga lunulot ng mga asawa, mga kapitbahay. Ano pa? Ang mag-anak. Kasi nakabili si tatay ng malaking lupa nung araw. Ang 500 pesos lang, 1960 pa, na gano'n lang kamumura bilihin. No? Mataas kasi ang value ng pera before. And then, namatay, hinati dun sa 8 anak, chinap-chap yung lupa, at naghati-hati sila. So yung mga looban na yon, yung isang compound na yan, is magkakamag-anak. Kaya sanay tayo na personal natin silang kakilala. May mga narrative kasi ng context ang lalabas dyan. Your neighbor made a complaint about you. Write a letter in response. Diba? Nasa Canada ka, nasa Amerika ka. Kanya-kanya dyan. No? Walang pakilamanan dyan. Walang kaibi-kaibi, walang abutan ng ulam dyan. So, formal po si neighbor. Malinaw? Okay. Sabi ni Rhea, you don't know. Sabi ni Jeffrey, dito sa amin, di namin kakilala. Oo nga, no? Yun. Diba? Thank you kay Lord mamaya. Lord, thank you po. Nag-review ako. Kasi pag nag-exam ako, natapatan ako ng write a letter to your neighbor, which is madalas. At sumulat ako ng informal, mali na pala. So, balik tayo dito sa introductory paragraph. Magpapakilala ka. Paano? Ask about your role. Nasaan yung role mo? Nandun sa sitwasyon, no? O nakalagay, ito yung sitwasyon na, bibigyan ko kayo ng kunwaring sitwasyon. You bought a mobile phone yesterday, and you found out just today that the phone has defects. Write a letter to the store manager about your complaint. Anong role mo doon? Customer! So, sisimulan mo ang first sentence ng letter mo with this. Good day. I am a customer of your shop. Who bought an iPhone 17 Pro Max fully paid 1 terabyte no credit card, pure cash. Diba? 17 yesterday. And there are some defects that I noticed. Ganyan ang panimula. Remember ha, hindi daw po buo ang iyong introductory paragraph kung wala ang purpose ng letter. So ilalagay mo na ang purpose o layunin. Anong dahilan? Ba't ka nagsulat? I am writing. Pwede kang gumamit ng I am writing or I wrote. Parehas lang po ang ibig sabihin nun. Ano? I wrote this letter to make a formal complaint about my purchase. Remember ha, pakiayos po ang spelling ng customer. Dahil yan po ang pinakamadalas na mistake ng mga GT letter, mga GT participants natin in letter writing, yung spelling ng customer. C-U-S-T-O-M-E-R. Kasi minsan napagpapaliktad yung U tsaka O. Ang ibig sabihin po kasi ng costumer ay gumagawa ng costume. So mali ang iyong indicator already. Okay? Example lang to. Nagkakaintindihan? Alright. Sabi ni Alden, you're right, sir, but some of my neighbors, I send their letter informal as a friend letter. It is okay for that, sir. Well, you know what, Alden, in context of the narrative, we can try to make stories about what happened before the situation. Pwede kang gumawa ng sarili mong kwento eh. But remember, we are bound by the inclusion lang kung ano lang yung naka-indicate. Nagreklamo daw yung kapitbahay mo because of the noise caused by your house 2 nights ago. No? Write a letter of apology. Lalo na dapat formal yon kasi maghingi ka ng tawad sa kanila eh. So hindi pwedeng playful or colorful o mabulaklak na salita dyan. Kasi nga, unang-una, you're talking about context of international culture eh. So regardless of nasa Canada ka, or let's say, personal, ikaw, nasa Canada ka, o nasa New Zealand ka, at tropa-tropa mo yung mga neighbor mo, palakaibigan ka eh. But in reality, this is not the norm. Neighbors are isolated from one another. That is why, generally speaking, unless stated otherwise, neighbors or writing a letter to a neighbor is considered formal in IELTS Writing Task 2, particularly GT letter category. Okay? Now, bumunta tayo sa informal. Nakalagay, write a letter to your cousin. No? Write a letter inviting her to your wedding next year. Paano naman ang introduction niya? Di ba? So, dear, ba pangalan ng cousin mo Cassandra, masyado mahaba, Cassie na lang. Diba? Dear Cassie. Kunwari, girl ka dito ha, sa role mo. Kunwari lang. Kunwari lang ha. Okay. Hi. How are you? I'm doing great. Since Steve, yung kunwaring fiancé mo, just proposed to me last night. So, mga nakikita nyo, exclamation point, question mark, hindi pwede yan sa formal eh. Nasa informal tayo eh. No? Pwede po yan. I'm doing great since Steve just proposed to me last night. You are the first person I am telling this information to. Anyway, I would like invite you, at hindi lang invite, to become my bridesmaid. Bridesmaid on my wedding next year. Tapos, nandun pa rin yung purpose. I am writing this letter. Anyway, I am writing this letter since I would like to invite you. Gusto mong ilagay, para hindi mo makalimutan na yung I am writing this letter, lagi nakalagay, ano? Anyway, I am writing this letter to invite you to become a bridesmaid on my wedding next year. And you can't say no. Oh, kasi nga, pinsan mo to eh. Close kayo eh. Pwede mo tayong idagdag yan. And you can't. Diba? Kumanto, utosan. Hindi ka pwedeng humindi bridesmaid ka. Ganun tayo mag-usap sa mga pinsan eh. Diba? Ganun tayo makapag-usap sa mga kamag-anak eh. Oh. So puro, how are you? I'm doing great. I hope you're doing fine just as well. Anyway, I'm writing this letter because I would like to ask for your help because next year, I will stay in Canada, in the city where you live, and I'm hoping if you could allow me to stay in your house for 2 months. Makikita muna ako sa'yo ng 2 months, okay lang ba? Siyempre, sa totoong buhay, hindi okay yun. Kunwari-kunwarian lang to eh. Nagets po? Okay, mga nasa Zoom pag may tanong kayo, tanong lang kayo. Yun po si introduction. Andun yung purpose. Mapa-formal man yan, ang introductory statement mo ng formal would be who you are without saying your name. Bakit ba hindi natin sinasabi yung name natin sa formal? Kasi it looks silly. Why? Kasi in the end, sa signature, ilalagay mo, respectfully yours, Kevin Mangalabnan. So, examiners find it repetitive. Kung nakalagay na yung pangalan mo sa umpisa, nakalagay pa yung pangalan mo sa uli. Kaya yung role ang nilalagay natin sa umpisa. Clear? Okay. Sa middle paragraph, this is where you cover all the bullet points. If you miss any single one of them, you fail. If you do get a bullet point question, telling you to introduce yourself, you do not have to reintroduce yourself in the middle paragraph. You can just ask ko lang po, sir, about sa rules ng contraction words. Well, wala namang rules. Yun nga lang, ang disadvantage nyo dyan, Jeffrey, is that pag contract ka, yung cannot, will not, 2 words yun, ginawa mong won't, 1 word na lang siya. So, kung problema ka sa number of words, kahit informal pa yan, wala namang problema kung will not, I am ka, kasi makakakuha ka na mas maraming words kapag hindi mo siya kinontract. No? So, sir, nakalagay kasi introduce yourself eh. So, syempre, sa umpisa, nagpakilala ka na ano yung role mo. Sa susunod na paragraph, sa first paragraph ng body, ang lalagay mo naman doon, mga additional detail. Nakalagay, introduce yourself. Diba? Always buy mobile gadgets in your shop. I am the black-haired guy, I was the goofy-looking guy yesterday since I just attended my Christmas party. That's why I was still wearing my costume. So, nagpapakilala ka, binibigay mo yung description mo. Pwede mong idagdag yun. Kung may nakalagay na, introduce yourself. Magdadagdag ka na lang ng info. Ilang taong ka, saan ka nakatira, yun. Statures, and etc. Action paragraph. State the action you want the recipient of the letter to undertake or if appropriate, your action. Gusto mong mangyari. So, dito, mag-iimbento ka. Oh. Okay? Oh. Nakalagay doon sa narrative. Write a letter to the newspaper telling them about the experience you had, the positive experience you had at a restaurant. Diba? O lalagay mo dyan sa dulo, I would like you to feature this restaurant in your next issue. Kasi sarap ng restaurant na to. It's worth being featured. Invento ka. Kadalasan po, ang action paragraph, hindi ito naririnig sa mga ibang lecture. Kahit umattend kayo ng mga lecture na examiners mismo nga nag-conduct, hindi ito maririnig. Tandaan yung action paragraph, kadalasan, malalaman mo yung action na dapat mong gawin sa 3rd bullet point. So, punta ka sa 3rd bullet point. Sa 3rd bullet point, magigets mo na anong action bullet. 3rd bullet point. Nandoon po yung action na dapat mong gawin. Sa concluding paragraph naman, it is always polite to start by saying thank you for taking time reading your letter. Say how they can get in touch with you again if necessary, if it needs feedback. Remember, do not apologize if you're making a formal complaint. Why? Why? Nakakatawa yun. Ano naman, bakit? Ikaw nag-reklamo, ikaw pa nagsasorry. Ano ka? Asawang lalaki? Diba? Tayo mga lalaki, diba, yung mga misis natin, siya may kasalanan, tayo magsasorry para tapos na usapan. Tama ba? Ganun po. So, sa ganung pagkakataon ka lang magsasorry kahit hindi ka may kasalanan. Pag lalaking asawa ka. Pero dito sa letter writing, if ikaw ang nagreklamo, let's say, sumakay ka ng tren, sumakay ka ng plane, yung luggage mo na-damage, natanggal yung isang gulong, nakupi yung luggage mo, kabago-bago, no? Magde-demand ka dyan ng compensation. Hindi ka magsasorry na, I would like to apologize for any inconvenience. Walang gano'n. Ikaw nga nabigyan ng, ikaw nga naagrabyado, ikaw pa magsasorry. So, hindi gano'n. Hindi ka uurong dyan. Okay? Kailan ka lang mag-apologize? Kung nakalagay sa instruction, ikaw ang may kasalanan. You are at fault in the imaginary scenario. For example, you're causing too much noise in your apartment. Write a letter to your neighbor asking for apology. Tsaka ka lang magsasorry. Dahil in this case, nakalagay talaga sa bullet point, magsasorry ka. Kung hindi mo naman magsasorry, bagsak ka dahil hindi mo na-address yung bullet point. Tama? Okay. So, balansehin yun. Mamaya papakita ko sa inyo yung mga sitwasyon paano ako aatake sa middle paragraph. Sa ngayon, gusto ko munang jump, no, sa conclusion. So, sa conclusion, Ganito po ang karaniwan na ginagawa ko. No? Thank you so much for taking time reading my letter. If or should you need more information, I am more than glad to provide you with anything. Just let me know. Here is my email. Kevin M 123 or kevinm09@gmail.com, or you may reach me on my office telephone number at 487-2963. Yan ang ginagawa kong conclusion kadalasan. So ilang words na yan? 1, 2, 3, alang, bilangin natin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. 47 words. Plus, I'm writing this letter because. Plus, dear sir or madam. Plus, sincerely yours, Kevin Mangalabnan. Ilan na yon? Nasa 70. Ilan na lang bubunuin mo? 80 na lang. Putangin na. Pag kinapos ka pa dyan, ewan ko na lang. Sir, paano po kami gumawa ng ganyang conclusion? Gusto namin may originality Ayun, no? Pwede mong pagsamasamahin to. I look forward to hear from you. Please do not hesitate to call me if you need more information. My office email is, I apologize for causing you trouble. I apologize for any inconvenience this causes. I'm sorry to cause you so much trouble. Ang dami mong pwedeng gamitin. At ito po na to ay handout na ipapasa ko rin sa inyo mamaya. Pwede mong gamitin. So, nasa formal letter tayo. Kilala mo ang iyong susulatan. For example, si Dear Dr. Manhattan, no? Yours faithfully or faithful yours, pwede. O hindi mo alam, yours sincerely yours, or napagbaliktad mo, walang problema. Mag-sincerely ka, mag-faithfully ka, as long as tama ang spelling ng sincerely at faithfully, walang problema. Wag na huwag kakalimutan ang comma pagkatapos ng closing statement. Closing remark. Okay ba? Okay. Truly yours. Yours truly. Wala nang problema. No? Missing, pag naman informal, missing you, much love, love and kisses, hugs, or love. Ako ginagamit ko kapag family member, love. Kapag friends, ang gamit ko, best wishes. Yun ang gamit ko. Kapag friends. Para dalawa, no? Huwag ka magsisincerely yours kapag informal, ha? Ito dapat ang gagamitin mo, love or best wishes. Kakaintindihan? Okay. May tanong! May tanong. Yung isang estudyante, sa dami-dami ng tinuro ko dito, ang ginawa, regards. Wala naman ako tinurong gano'n, sabi ko. Gawa ka ng sarili mong klase, ano? Tsaka mo ilagay yun. So, huwag pong gamitin si regards kasi hindi po tama ang paggamit ng regards. It should be sending my warmest regards. Hindi siya buo kapag ano. So pag formal, kompleto pong pangalan, pwede mo pang ilagay sa bandang baba. For example, ito siya ng buo, no? Yours sincerely, Kevin Malugnan. Alam ko mo yun, student. Yan. Signature, name, and title. Sa formal, hindi po tayo naglalagay ng title. Nagsulat ka sa nanay mo. Love, Kevin. Panganay ka mo, nilagay mo, firstborn son, hindi pwede yun. Pangalan lang. At first name lang. Okay po? Ayan na. You should spend about 20 minutes on this task. You live in a room in college which you share with another student. However, there are many problems with this arrangement and you find it very difficult to work. Write a letter to the accommodation officer at the college. In the letter, describe the situation. Bakit kaya mahirap kasama ito? Pwedeng dapat ikaw ang bida dito sa kwento mo Ikaw ay masigasig mag-aral, naabot ka ng, natutulog ka ng maaga, gumigising ka ng maaga para mag-review ng notes. Siya naman, nag-PlayStation siya, syempre malakas ang volume nun, at ikaw ay nadidistract sa pagtulog mo, hindi ka nakakatulog ng maayos. Sabi mo dyan, explain your problems, why it's difficult to work. Sabi mo, makalipas ang isang SEM, nakita mo na bumabagsak ang grades mo dahil sa difficulty of your quality of sleep. Dahil doon sa kasama mo na yon sa kwarto. What kind of accommodation you would prefer? That is why I am humbly asking you to put me in another room with another student under my course, or perhaps give me a room just by myself. Kailangan may action Kailangan iutos mo sa kanila anong gusto mong mangyari. Okay, so sample to. Dear Sir or Madam, I currently reside in the College Halls of Residence and I am writing to request a change of accommodation. Ito po, binigay agad ang iyong purpose. At the moment, I share the room with Mia Khalifa. Although she and I really get on well as people, we have very different studying habits. She works best at night and often studies until 3 or 4 a.m. Of course, she has the lights on and eats, both of which disturb my sleep. I, on the other hand, prefer to wake up in the break of dawn and study before going to college. After 2 weeks of this arrangement, I find that I'm constantly tired as a result of not being able to sleep well, and this, in turn, is adversely affecting my studies. I feel that I will only be able to study well if I have a single room and do not have to share. Given these extenuating circumstances, I would be grateful if you could arrange this for me. Thank you for taking time reading my letter. I apologize for any inconvenience that this will cause you, and I look forward to hearing from you soon with some good news. Should you need to get in touch, I will be more than glad to receive a call from you. Ito yung number, yours faithfully, Lexilor student. Nakuha? So, ganun po. In-address lahat ng bullet points. Ito naman, friend. Write a letter to your friend who also happens to live in that country. So, sasabihin mo kay friend, bakit napili mo tong bansa na to na pag-migratan? Kumaga, imagine niyo itong sulat na to, yung friend mo nakatira na doon. Nauna siya doon. Tapos, ikaw, nandun ka na din. So, susulatan mo siya kasi this is a letter of invitation. Makikipag-meet ka sa kanya. Propose a meeting with your friend. So, bakit mo daw pinili yung bansa niyon? For example, ang bansang napili nyo ay New Zealand. No? Bakit mo napili si New Zealand? Describe your new place of residence. Kamusta ang bahay mo? Kamusta ang kwarto? Maingay ba? Marami bang baka? Marami bang tupa? No? Maganda ba ang mga libutan sa labas? Oh. Maganda ba ang outdoor? Maganda ba ang mga indoor amenities na meron doon? Malapit ka ba sa ospital? Malapit ka ba sa simbahan? Malapit ka ba sa leisure parks? Alright? At propose a meeting with your friend. Kailan mo gustong makipagkita? Anong araw? Anong oras? Saan? Nakuha? Okay. Dear Blank. Ano yung sabihin ng Dear Blank? Ikaw ang maglalagay ng pangalan. Kuha po. Okay. Dear Brian, I just arrived here in Shanghai 3 days ago, and I have to say I did not expect it to be so cold here. This makes me miss the tropical heat in the Philippines so much. It is a good thing that I always have a piece of the Philippines here since I have friends like you living here as well. I wrote this letter to invite you a simple get-together a week or two from now. If I'm not mistaken, you told me that you live in the downtown area of the city, although I think you were slightly exaggerating when you talked about how noisy it is there. I consider the slight probability that you might be telling the truth. I followed your advice and decided to rent a flat in the outskirts of the city because my work is close to the area. The place is a bit shabby, but it has its charms. The neighbors are friendly, and my house is close to the road, to the shops, and to my work. Honestly, the only flaw I can think of is that the place gets eerily quiet at times. Masyadong tahimik. No? I miss the rocos we used to make together in our office back in Moraita, so to somehow make my new pad more reminiscent of what once was, I'm commanding you as a friend to drop by here soon. I will cook your favorite rice dish in insane quantities if you promise to visit me. Thank you in advance for seeing as my very good friend. Love, Richard. Parang may something si Richard tsaka si Brian. No? So, kung gusto mong bumagsak, sundin mo lang lahat to. Bagsak na. Bawal po ang all caps. No? Proper capitalization po dapat. Lalong-lalo na ang pronoun ay, parang awa nyo na, ang pronoun ay, dapat po yan ay capital letter. Bawal po ito. No? Bawal na bawal yan. Okay guys? Alright. So ito, bumili ka daw ng laptop. Nung pagkabili mo, meron siyang major flaw. No? Write a letter to the company. In your letter, introduce yourself, explain the situation, say what action you would like the company to take. Write at least 150 words. So, papakilala ka daw. Ano nangyari? Good day, I'm one of your customers and constantly buy gadgets and accessories in your shop. And yesterday, I bought an Asus ZenBook laptop. There are some defects that I encountered. I wrote this letter to make a complaint about it. Ito daw yung laptop na binili mo. 16 inch in diameter. Very stylish. 500 grams lang. Upon opening and closing, parang ang lakas niya masyadong tumunog, which makes me concerned about its screen. Definitely, a device that sleek will not last long if constantly exposed to shock due to its opening and closing. Upon careful examination, I've noticed that one of its attachments where a screw and bolt should be visible is missing. Nawawala yung isang tornilyo niya. Yung pong business letter, iba po kasi ang business letter, Ma'am Rhea. Ang business letter kasi, meron siyang address sa itaas ng pagpapadalan mo at address mo na return address mo. So, ang kapal-kapal nun sa taas, no? Parang 10 lines na agad ang kakainin nun. So, ito pong topic natin, kaya nga naka-indicate dito na do not write any addresses kasi hindi po business style ang letter natin. Oh, wala nang letterhead, wala nang mga ganyan. Nakalagay, Dear Sir or Madam, doon ka na mag-uumpisa. Okay. I would greatly appreciate it if you could have it checked or better yet, replaced with a new one ng parehong model. Kasi according sa user's agreement, refund and replacement naman is negotiable. I look forward to hear from you, blah, 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 blah. Thank you. Yours faithfully, Kevin Mulman, client. Ito ang gusto kong ipa-assignment sa inyo. So, kung pwede yung screenshot, pwede yung picturean, gawin nyo na yung yan. So, you had a good meal in a local restaurant with your family. Write a letter to the newspaper to tell them about it. Describe the meal you had and why you think the restaurant is worth visiting. So, bakit ito po ang lagi kong pinapaunang assignment? Na? So, una, nagkakamali po ang mga student dyan because they think ang susulatan nila is yung restaurant na thank you restaurant for giving us a delicious meal. Mali po. Ang susulatan mo dyan, write a letter to the newspaper. Susulatan mo sa newspaper na kukwento mo sa kanila na, oh, itong restaurant na to ay talagang dapat malaman ng mga tao at bisitahin nila kasi nasarapan kami nung pagpunta namin doon. Birthday ng lola ko, Paliwanag mo, bakit kayo nagpunta doon? Anong araw? Anong oras? Matao ba? Na-servan ba kayo agad? Nakalagay dyan, describe the meal you had. Ito yung pangalawang madalas magkamali ang mga estudyante. Kung sinasabi nilang mga meal na kinain nila, lechon, crispy pata, sisig, pinaputok na tilapia, pinaupong manok, tinola, gising-gising. Lahat yun ay Tagalog. Bawal po kasi mag-Tagalog dito, English nga. So imagine mo yung examiner mo ay Egyptian. Mga gising-gising na to, ano ba to? Hindi niya alam yun. Di ba? So if you want to include a Filipino dish, kailangan mo siyang i-translate in English. So may isa nga nagsulat, di ba? Pinaputok egang tilapia, exploding fish, inilagay. Ano pa? Pinaupong manok, sitting chicken. Diyos ko po akong mga yan. Ano? So wag naman literal ang translation. May mga translations din po tayo dyan. Ano? Gising-gising is seafood, stir-fried vegetables with spicy seafood stir-fried vegetables. Pagka dinuguan, pork and blood stew. Pag meron kang ginawa mo siyang tinumis with tamarind leaves. Kare-kare, ox tripe in peanut sauce. May bagong with sauteed shrimp paste. Kailangan tama ang gamit natin ng translation. Okay po? Fried chicken. Ano ang English ng pansit? Diba? Filipino-style stir-fried noodles. Or Chinese-style stir-fried noodles. Stir-fried noodles. Kasi, sinangkotsa mo lang siya doon eh. Yun siya. So, kaya yan po ang pinapa-assignment ko. Ito naman, so ko lang to explain. Gagawa tayo ng, tawag dito. Gawa tayo ng brainstorm. Susulatan mo daw yung college magazine dahil gusto mong i-improve yung cafeteria. No? Ang cafeteria ay yung kung saan po kayo kumakain sa school. What you like about the cafeteria? Ibig sabihin, magreklamo ka kasi meron ka mga suggestions na gustong baguhin sa cafeteria. Pero bago yon, after ang introduction mo, sa first paragraph, explain mo anong gusto mo sa cafeteria. So, unahin na natin. Anong gusto mo sa cafeteria? Kunwari. Convenience. Bakit? Ang lapit eh. Bababa ka lang doon. Andun eh. Doon ka nang kakain eh. Kasi lalabas ka pa, tatawid ka pa, sakay ka pa ng tricycle, kain ka, balik ka. Isang oras lang lunch break ng estudyante. Di ba? So, what I like about the cafeteria is convenience. At saka, affordable student meals. Mura. Di ba? Anong mali sa kanya? O sa next paragraph, ito na yung bullet point number 2 paragraph. Ano meron? Anong mali? Sa cafeteria na gusto mong baguhin. Service? Masyado mabagal? Magdagdag pa ng tao? Yung mga yan, achievable, na? Ano pa? Makalawang yung mga upuan. So dahil makalawang yung mga upuan, puti ang mga damit, ikaw ay isang nursing student ka mo, puti ang damit mo, ikaw ang naglalaban ng mga damit mo, nahihirapan ka ngayon na magkusot after ng school. Ano sasuggest mo yan? Paano ma-improve? Napapinturahan natin. O sino magpipintura? Saan kukuha ng budget? O pwedeng magtulong-tulong ang mga estudyante pag-volunteer. Nagkakaintindihan. O, ano pa? Pwedeng ang reklamo mo is exhaust. Pagpasok mo ng cafeteria, ang ulam paksiw. Paglabas mo, umay kayong paksiw lahat. Siyempre, hindi ka napapansinin ng crush mo pag amoy kang paksiw. Asim mo. Diba? Hindi na kayo nagkatuluyan. Magkakatuluyan sana kayo kung hindi ka nang amoy paksiw eh. Amoy kang paksiw. So, ano magiging improvement mo doon? Exhaust. Mag-install ng exhaust. Ang mahal nun, di ba? So, ano pang suggestion mo? Na mag-fundraising kayo tulad ng mga fun run, mga cook fest, tapos yung malilikom yung pondo, ay, pampapa-install nyo. Yan. Ano daw? Sino ba rin? Kalang ha? Nag-chat. Sir, pwede ba yung start ko sa letter like this, I writing with regards of? Pwede, I am writing with regard. Kasi ang with regard, tandaan na, nagkakamali din po yung mga aka dito. Si about kasi, at si with regard, or as regards, pati si regarding, ay magkakaparehas lang na ibig sabihin. Nagkakamali lang kasi, yung with regards, nilalagyan nila ng S, hindi dapat. Na? So, ang dali lang kasing matandaan eh. Si as regards, pareho silang may S sa dulo. O, di ba? Ang daling tandaan. Si with regard, pareho silang walang S. So, kung malilito ka, kasi alam naman natin, ang utak ng tao, minsan 32 MB na lang ang laman ng utak natin, ha? Dahil sa dami-dami ng kailangan natin kabisaduhin. Minsan nakakalimutan na nga natin yung mga birthday, mga importanteng date sa buhay natin. So, kung makakalimutan mo yan, mag-about ka na lang. I'm writing this letter about. Pwede din, no? Para mas hindi ka na masyadong malito. Eto. Bebenta mo yung TV mo sa kaibigan mo? Bakit ibebenta mo yung TV mo? Wala ka na pambiling droga. No? Huwag mo ilalagay dito yun, ha? Loko ka. Huwag masyadong mayabang sa letter, ha? No? I'm writing a complaint about the defective iPhone I bought. I have a gun. Huwag naman babantaan mo yung buhay ng... Diyos ko. I'll wait for you in the parking lot. Abangan kita. I have a lawyer. Huwag naman bantaan. No? Civil pa rin dapat. Dear Gary, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing fine, though life is quite hectic and at the moment because I'm moving abroad and there's so much to do. I wrote this letter because I would like to sell something to you. Tibi nga. There are a few things that I can take with me because they're too big, so I'm seeing if any of my friends would be interested in buying them. One of the things I don't want to take with me is my television. Pupunta ka nga ng Canada, ba't dadalhin mo po yung TV mo doon? So gawin mo, benta mo dito, yung maipon mo pera, pambili mo na lang doon. And I thought you might like to buy it off me for a cheap price. It's a 32-inch flat-screen TV. It's a Philips model. It has a USB port, so you can just plug in a thumb drive to watch movies or listen to music. It has a great stereo surround sound too. As you know, I'm leaving the country at the end of the month, which is only 2 weeks away. So if you want to see it, it would be best to come on the 20th or 21st. That will give me time to sell it elsewhere if you are not interested. Okay, I look forward to seeing you. Let me know if you can't make it. Best wishes, John, number 1 to 30. Ito naman nag-complain sa pagkain. Basahin nyo na lang. Ito nag-exercise. Tapos, napansin mo doon sa gym, hindi sila nagpupunas ng equipment. Tapos, iniiwan nila yung mga maruruming tuwalya, no? Sa bench. Nakalagay dyan, write a letter to Mr. Cotto. Begin your letter with, Dear Mr. Cotto, comma. Kokopyahin mo rin yun. Okay? Explain who you are. Sino ka? So, ikaw ay bagong member. Dati ka na nag-gym sa parang lumipat ka ng state at talagang nagagandahan mo yung setup ng gym dito. Anong problema nyo? Eto nga, yung mga members pala ng gym na to, mga salahula. O, anong suggestion mo? Paalalahanan sila na wag sila maging salahula. Yun po. Ito po yung letter na yon. Dear Mr. Cotto, I'm a new member of your gym and I'm quite liking the setup you got here. However, I noticed some problems. That is why I wrote this letter to you to raise these concerns and offer my suggestions as well. I haven't been a member of many different gyms in the past and I honestly consider your establishment to be one of the best. Despite this, there are many concerns about the gym in general that could potentially lead to accidents. You see, not all the members follow the simple gym etiquette. I noticed that they do not wipe the equipment after they use them. In addition, they leave their towels in the locker room, which I stepped on, that made me hurt my knees when I fell. Nadulas nga ako no? You see, okay, nevertheless, the minor problems by the members not following simple instructions can be resolved. Kung yung mga gym instruction, i-enforce ng rules. I also recommend, i-brief natin yung mga bagong member at reorient natin yung mga old members. Pwede rin tayo maglagay ng mga nakapaskil na paalala, no? Mga reminders. Thank you for time reading my letter. I hope to see some changes in our gym. Yours sincerely, Kevin Molabnan. Eto, na-aksidente ka daw sa supermarket. You wish to complain to the supermarket. Pwede mong ilagay dyan na ikaw ay na-hospital dahil kasalanan ng supermarket, bayaran nila ang iyong bill. Ayan siya. Ito naman, yung friend ko daw, lumipat ng parehong lugar ko, i-invite ko na siyang mag-gym. Kaming dalawa. No? Meron din ganyan. Ito yung supermarket, basahin nyo. Basahin ko naman tong gym. Hi, how are you? I learned from Jerome that you just moved here in Santa Cruz last week. I'm really excited to be with you again and I wrote this letter to invite you to my gym as our way of bonding on a regular basis. I'm 2 blocks away from Jim's gym. Napaka-redundant, no? And the equipment they have there are top-notch. I started working out 3 months ago and I already lost 12 kilograms. I've never felt so good looking at myself in the mirror after my regular training in the gym. The best part of the gym is definitely the cycling area. The spinning class they have is so fun because there's a leader who really pushes the members to do their best. I know that you would enjoy this. I know that you are not allowed to lift heavy weights due to your spine problems, but the spinning class in my gym is well suited for you since it burns the most calories in a short amount of time. You wanted to lose some weight before your cousin's wedding, right? Well, this is the best place to burn some. Okay, I hope to see you next week at the gym. You can send me an email so that I can forward the gym membership application form to you. Let's melt some fat together soon. Best wishes, Kevin. 7 minutes kung tinype yan, nasa 220 plus words yan. Ito din, 7 minutes. Pag sabi ka sa inyo, GT letter, paborito kong klase, yun ang pinakamabilis mong gawing letter. Yan, 7 minutes ka lang din yung tinype. Ito din, 7 minutes ka lang din yung tinype. Live kong tinatype yan ha. So ngayon, sa dulo ng ating lecture, ay gagawa din ako. Ito, 6 minutes pala, pinakamabilis ko. And then, we have, ang dami HR manager. Ito, kakagawa ko lang ito na bago. Basa-basahin nyo ha. Magbasa po ng maraming letter. Dami. Ayan pa. Ito, gusto ko gawin nyo rin itong assignment. Mahirap-hirap. Yung kaninang pina-assignment ko sa inyo, yung easy version. Ito, difficult version. Para kung gusto nyo i-challenge ng konti yung sarili nyo. Nag-enroll ka daw sa study abroad course sa ibang bansa. Your accommodation was arranged by the course provider. Pero may major problem. Ito na. Introduce yourself and describe the problem. Ano yung problema? Describe the accommodation you thought you were getting. Ano ba yung inaasahan mong makuha sana? Yung nakalagay sa picture na within the vicinity of the university. Eh, yung nilagay sa yung accommodation, 6 kilometers away from the university. So, kailangan mo pang mag-bike, mag-bus, o maglakad ng pagkalayo-layo. Diba? Ask the provider to solve the problem. Dear Mr. Gazili, comma. O yun na, kukopehin niyo lang siya. At ginawa ko na yan. Again, lahat muna to. Kahit hindi nyo na-picturean, i-upload ko na lang to. I-copy na kayo. Browse na lang kayo. Basa-basa na lang kayo.
Lahat po, sir, yung sino?
Yan, lahat yan,
Invitation.
Lahat yan! For only 25 pesos to. Joke lang bayad.
Yung kahapon sir na
Hindi ko pa na-upload. Sorry. Sabi ko nga kanina, may dalawang estudyante. Pasensya na, no? Sobrang busy ko kasi mula kagabi kanina. So, i-upload ko pa lang yung kahapon. I-re-upload ko rin yung ngayon. So, dalawang post yung gagawin ko. May title naman siya. So, to what extent, do you think the advantages or the disadvantages at saka GT letter writing? Okay? Yan. May tanong po. So, dun pala sa i-upload ko na GT letter writing, 4 na video yun. Yung mga bandang dulo, nandun na po yung nag-type ako ng dulo. Na tinype ko kung paano siya. So, pwede nyo rin panoorin kung paano ko na-type yung mga answers na yan. Ano? GT letter formal. Gawa tayo.
Sir, yan po mismo yung lalabas sa writing.
Oo! Question talaga sa exam yan.
Kaya, buti mong basahin namin may forma at saka forma yung pili po.
Meron yan.
Pag pinaka-pattern na nga. Kasi yung lalabas invitation, complaint.
Sir, pwede pa po check po ba ng assignment naka-print or type?
Kahit i-copy pwede.
Sir, halimbawa po, nag-exam na kami. Tapos po, ang question po ay hindi namin masyadong na-minimize po ba para mag-google kami?
Walang Google. Exam nga eh.
Wala na po na.
Walang ganun. Kaya dapat, pag sabak mo doon, handang-handa ka na talaga.
Kaya hindi magulo.
Oo.
Kasi dito sir, tinatagalog niya sir. Sana managilip ako. Bawal yan. Bawal sir, may cellphone na. Sir, bawal yun sir?
Bawal.
May hawak ka cellphone?
Bawal. Dito may security kami. I-scan talaga. Meron kaming scanner. Tapos kakapkapan. Tapos may CCTV. So once din na mahuli kayo na meron kayong tinago, sabi ko nga, pwede kayong kasuhan ng cheating. Ang masakit doon, pag kinasuhan ka ng IELTS ng cheating, hindi ka na makakapag-take ng exam kahit kailan. At sasabihin niya sa ibang exam, PTE, OET, CELPIP, KL, CELBAN, mandaraya to, huwag mong pag-take ng exam to. Hindi ka na makakapasok ng Canada. Kaya huwag nyo nang tangkain.
Iba po, magpapaisa mo na po. Hindi po kayo na po.
Ha?
Iba po, magpapaisa.
Iba. Oo. Diyan si Ma'am Teresa. Siya yung assistant natin sa branch. Siya din ang testing supervisor natin dito.
Kasi dito yung mababa tayo.
Oo, nandyan.
Yung nasa harap po.
Oo. Huwag niyong pagtangka ay buhay ni Ma'am Teresa at hindi siya ang mag-i-score sa inyo.
Isa pa kayo natin sa mga.
Oo. Hindi siya ang bibigay ng score.
Labang sa immigration.
Ano, mag-ride daw po sila.
Immigration po kasi
Wala tayong pizza, tsaka isang bakit.
bakit na red horse ilang tao sa isang apat na red horse o ano?
Eh, ma'am, kahit sa pagtulog, kakabi ko ito cellphone.
Yan. You recently bought a piece of equipment for your kitchen but did not work. So gusto ko na to multi-food processor. You phone the shop. But no action was taken. Write a letter to the store manager. In your letter, describe the problem. Explain what happened when you phoned the shop. And say what you would like the manager to do. Okay. Write at least 150 words. Simulan na natin. Dear Sir / Madam. Good day. I am a regular. Hoy, makinig kayo dito. Hindi ako nag-ano dito ha. Kaya ako to ginagawa para makita nyo kung paano. Puro kayo tanong mamaya at saka sa susunod ha. Of your shop. Who constantly buy equipment for my kitchen needs. Just last week, I bought a multi-food processor and some functions are not working well. I'm writing this letter to ask for a replacement or refund I have trusted your store for many years, and so far I have not encountered a single problem or mishap, para maiba naman, until recently. The multi-food processor main function of grinding and slicing vegetables appear to function quite well. However, when I change it into the blender attachment, it does not work, and I smell something burning. Due to the reasons I previously stated, I called your front desk and no one answered my calls. I left some voice messages which have not been responded to for 4 days now. That is why I escalated the matter to you. I would like to return the item that I bought, or perhaps be replaced with a different brand with the same capabilities. I still have my official receipt and the box all of which I will bring to your store personally tomorrow. Thank you for taking time, reading my letter. If you need more information, you may return my calls at 972-4513. Yours sincerely, Kevin Malabdan. Time, 3:06. 6 minutes kong ginawa. Ilang words? 208 words in 6 minutes. So, ganun po ang paggawa ng GT letter writing. May tanong pa? Okay. So, after ma-post ng replay, upload ko to. Tapos na ang ating GT letter discussion. Wala akong pasok bukas. Dahil may attendan akong Christmas party. Sino sumama? Hindi pwede dahil ibang kumpanya to.
Monday po.
Sa Monday, isusure pa namin. Basta wait for the announcements na lang. Yung kasing lecture talaga, wala na talaga dapat pasok starting next week. Para magpapapasok lang kami siguro ng 1-2 araw para lang po yun sa mag-i-exam ng 20th. Dahil na-move siya from 13th to 20th. Okay?
So, paano 27?
27? O yun. Nasa Pasko na kami, oh. Kapanalangin ka na namin. Okay? So, Alden, Alan, Jeffrey, Rhea, Rochelle, have a nice day. God bless and good luck.